Okay, let's get moving with game 2. This was against David Bell and his Tomb Kings. So the ETC comp for Tomb Kings is Tomb King armies have an extra 200 points for their army, 2,600 then. Same as me, all VPs are decreased by 10%, excluding the bonus points for banners, general, etc. So same as Wood Elves. Nefara's Scroll of Mighty Incantations counts as 2 power dice and 2 dispel dice. The Hyrule Titan is worth 1 power dice, so long as it's alive. Sphinxes of all kinds are 0.3 per army, and Tomb Kings may generate up to 3 power dice per phase. Right, let's move on to David's deployment. So on his far left he had 2 units of Skeleton Archers, which he vanguarded up, a War Sphinx, a block of Tomb Guard, in which he has his Tomb Prince General and a level 2 Lich Priest on Law of Nehekara. The centre there he has a very nice Casket of Souls, then a unit of Skeleton Horsemen, a Necro Sphinx, a unit of Archers with his level 4 Hierophant on Law of Nehekara in it, and on his far right a unit of 6 Chariots with a Tomb Prince on Chariot in it. And as you can see, he had vanguarded his Skeleton Horsemen up. On my left I had a unit of 10 Archers, then my Dryads. On this hill, a unit of Treekin, behind them another small unit of Glade Guard, and behind them a unit of War Dancers. I'm very aware that there isn't 1 inch between them, but it's because the Glade Guard are a bit further up, they just wouldn't balance on the hill. Then I have the unit of 15 Glade Guard with my level 4 in it. Next to that I have a unit of 10 Glade Guard, then I have the Tree Man and a unit of 10 Glade Guard with the BSB in it. And my level 4 is also in the 15 strong unit of, my level 3 on Beast is also in the 15 strong unit of Glade Guard. My far right, which I started deploying first, try and lure stuff out there, unit of Dryads and an Eagle. My spells, this is the only game of the tournament. I think I got Amber Spear in every single one of them. This is the only game of the tournament where I actually got the Curse of Anra here. And to be honest, it couldn't be, if I had to choose one game to get it, it'd be one with a massive unit of Chariots bearing down on me. So he gets first turn, pushes up with his Chariots on the right, pushes up with his Archers, puts them near the wood, which is foolish when there are 2 Treemen knocking around. Pushes up with his Sphinx, basically just, as you can get from this, just pushing everything up as much as he can. His Archers has fired at my Glade Guard, as you can see. Now in my turn I pushed things forward. I reckon the Treekin should be able to take the War Sphinx off. They have in the past, you know, it's 6s to wound, but they will grind him down. With 18 attacks a turn, should be getting 1 or 2 wounds off a turn. He's not going to get that many off of me, and I'll just grind him out. I pushed the 2 units of Glade Guard are now both on the hill, so I can start shooting at stuff, and the 2 Treemen have pushed forward. One of the Treemen has lost some wounds to a cheeky bit of death magic there. I've also pushed the Dryads up to try and redirect his... Oh no, I charged the Dryads into the Chariots actually, knowing they'll die. However, I just basically wanted to chip a couple of wounds off them because to soften them up for later on in the game. The Dryads weren't going to do much out there anyway, and with a lot of attacks, striking before everything, hitting on 3s, wounding on 4s, not much of an armor save. I thought I might be able to chip a few wounds off, maybe a Chariot or 2. That doesn't work, and there's Dave, great guy. Shooting, I drop a few things here or there, but more importantly I take 2 wounds off his Casket of Souls. In the combat phase I managed to nick 2 wounds off 1 Chariot, but he goes to town with my Dryads who run away. A Hail of Doom goes into these guys, takes a few off. At this point you'll also notice that he no longer has his level 2 on that near corner of the unit of Tomb Guard, and there are a lot less of them. That's because he dimensionally cascaded, blew up a load of his guys and lost a wizard. Just awful luck. But at the same time, you might be able to see he's healed the wounds back up on the casket. So he pushes forward again. So that's in his face, he's pushed forward. My turn. I bail the mage out of his unit in case the chariots come round. The tree can go into the War Sphinx. That scenery in the middle there couldn't remove it, so you know, the front rank of Treekin is where they are. I'm down to 5 archers on that flank, but I'm not sure if I took many pictures, but basically over the course of the game I have a shoot-off with those that arch cavalry on the left, and my 5 archers win. On the right, my archers turn around to start dealing with the threats coming their way, try to nick some wounds off his Necrosphinx coming that way. And I use the eagle to redirect the chariots. And now my tree man, you see one of them is down to 2 wounds left. Basically they're there to try and strangle root a load of the Tomb Guard off. So the combat phase doesn't quite go as well as planned. Basically throughout this tournament I just could not roll a 6 to save my life. It was awful, or pass any ward saves for that matter for most of my games. But anyway, I'm steadfast. He's taken 5 wounds off my guys, popped his breath weapon already, and I get ready for the long grind. Here we go, and that combat just basically keeps going there whilst I pick off some archers in my phase. So one tree man, his Tomb Guard are down to a manageable level now, so I've put one tree man into there at the top right, and the other tree man has gone hunting for his Hierophant. So he shoots at the eagle, doesn't really get anywhere. So here's an overview of the battle. Sorry, my other tree man, as you can see at the top there, hasn't quite gone for the Hierophant yet. He's gone into the Casket of Souls. He only had 2 wounds left. I thought I didn't want to risk him in the grind against the Tomb Guard, so he went against the Squisher stuff. So he's going to take off the casket. Then I'll turn him up and go get his Hierophant and his bunker there. The Necrosphinx is a bit of a pain, but as you can see, that's why the mage is up by himself behind that building. ETC simple line of sight prevents me from being shot, which is nice, and the BSB is now running around in the mobile unit of War Dancers, and the level 3 of Beasts is back in that far unit there. So that's that grindfest going on. Regrowth back some Treekin, massively grinding. See here, basically I'm trying to get rid of his Tomb Prince to make his Tomb Guard easier to fight. That's proving a lot more difficult than it has any right to be. So Thunderstomping the unit, attacking the character, and then hopefully once the character's dead the unit will be easier to deal with, but that just takes longer than it should. And as you can see, my tree man's facing towards his very frightened looking Hierophant. So here you go. He shoots at that Glade Guard unit at the bottom there, who's running away. My BSB is desperately trying to run around and get towards where he needs to be, as in conferring his reroll to the Treekin. And my Treeman has got into his Hierophant, which he dispatches in 1 turn of combat, I believe. This combat in the centre is slowly going my way. And finally I managed to pop that unit. Now back here, his Necrosphinx gets into my big unit, they're going to hold him up for a couple of turns with Steadfast, hopefully. And in the centre here, as you can see, my BSB didn't quite make it in time. Didn't quite make it in time in order to protect the Treekin, who have fled without the reroll. They got away, luckily enough. So that's the situation on that flank there. Now, he has killed the eagle with his chariots, reformed and turned round. So I've got one tree man facing them down, and that's the situation. Now in my magic phase he now has nothing left. His skeletons are just crumbling all over the shop, his constructs are crumbling, his War Sphinx is down to 1 wound. And I actually managed to get off in 1 magic phase. I get off Dwellers Below on his unit of chariots, whittles them down to 4 models. I also get Curse of Anrahir off on them. In the centre here, my last few bits of shooting managed to pop the last wound off that War Sphinx. And on the right, he declares a charge with a unit of chariots on my treeman running around up there. I strangle root one chariot off, and another one dies to the Curse of Anrahir, and to really top things off, he fails the charge. Just awful luck for him in that one combination, whittling down that big unit down to nothing, with just a couple of spells and a strangle root. And you can see here his Necrosphinx has popped the rest of my archers, but he's not really going to get much more done. We're towards the end of the game now. I think that was in his last turn. And in my last turn, I charged the tree man into the unit, hoping to pop both the chariot and the prince, but I only just managed to get the unit of chariots, but that's a buttload of points. So all he has left now is his general and his Necrosphinx. So we tote it up. I actually haven't lost very much at all, which is nice. He took that tree man, yeah, so that unit of chariots actually took the other tree man out, I think, I seem to remember. But anyway, I lost a tree man, I think, to these guys, to the chariots. That was how they were back up in that side of the flank, of my flank. Didn't really matter, I still managed to crack the 20-0 win. But I have to say, Dave was an awesome guy to play against. He got some torrid results throughout the weekend. His list maybe wasn't optimal, but it was a fun list to play against, and I'm sure he had fun with it. Some more of the smashy stuff. You know, the unit of chariots you don't always see in Tomb King armies. Quite refreshing not to have the double catapult and just tons of archers. So a nice list to play against, and a great guy. So there we go. So after 2 games, I'm sitting on 23 points out of a possible 40, 2 very polar opposites. And I'll get on to game 3. Goodbye.